So we always start with the acknowledgement. We acknowledge Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples as the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia. Their connections to land, sea, and waterways were never ceded, and we respect the continuation of their cultural, spiritual, and educational practices. All right, I just better quickly go back to say that this lesson, I probably should put that. This lesson, we're up to lesson 9, and we're going to practice using maps. So we will be going over the compass points as well. And then we'll move on to timetables and schedules. So we're still working in transport. We're still really thinking about transport and places and prepositions of places and everything. And we'll introduce some a little bit more vocabulary about places as well. But we're going to start off with the I didn't line up with Paramita, but we'll start off with, we've only got one dialogue today. So Paramita, would you be okay to read out When May? And I'll be Hong.
Oh yes. I was just trying to give the, they don't have the link, it seems.
Oh yeah. No, you go
S-
ahead
So
because
I'm just trying
what I'll
to,
do,
yeah.
it's okay. I'll just do my funny voices that Nikki makes fun of. So I'll just
Just 1 second. I'll just give
No,
the,
don't worry. You do that, and I will
thank you.
read on. So, remember we said that Barbara was a university professor who taught medicine at the university. So now we're going to introduce three of her students, three of Barbara's university students, and they're getting together and they plan to meet at the bus terminal. Now, terminal is like a bus stop, except it's the first bus stop or the last bus stop. So often when you're traveling between cities or between countries, you would go to the terminals at the beginning of the trip and get off at the end for some. Yeah. Okay. So we have the ones speaking here are Hong Shen and Wen Mei. They're Chinese names. Hong Shen's a male, Wen Mei's a female. So we'll see how that goes. Hi, Wen Mei. Ricardo
Can I
is
do
coming.
teacher?
Sorry, who was that? I'll keep going. I'll start again. Hi, Wen Mei. Ricardo is coming with us to Sydney after all. He found his wallet. Fantastic. Where was it? He dropped it on the floor at the cafe this morning, and the waiter took it across the road to the police station. Just as well he reported it to the police as well as the campus security. Yeah, lucky, too lucky. He'll pick up the wallet on the way to the station after his rehearsal. Okay, I'm picking up my new shoes from David Jones, the one downtown. I can walk to the station from there. I'm still on campus. I can walk there as well after Barbara's lecture. I might pick up some snacks for the trip on the way. Great! This is going to be an awesome trip. Okay, so let's get, who are we up to? I think we are up to Farzana Netsami. Can you be a reader? And Merzel Sherzad. Can you be one too, please? Do we have you two? Yep, Farzana and Merzel.
Well, I couldn't get which one should I be?
So you be when May, and is Merzel there? Merzel, can you unmute, please? Merzel? Let's go with Mastora. Mastora, can you unmute, please?
Yes, miss.
Yep, great. Mastora, you be Hongshen. You be Hongshen.
Okay.
And Fazana is going to be Wenmei. Okay,
Okay.
go
Okay.
ahead.
Hi, Wenmei. Ricardo is coming with us to Sydney after all. He found his wallet.
Fantastic. Where was it?
He dropped it on the floor at the cafe this morning, and the waiter took it across the road to the police station.
Just as well he reported it to the police, as well as campus security.
You two are great. That's very good.
Thank you, miss.
Let's get two other people so that we can get through everybody. Sarah Gahari, can you be Hongshen? Sarah, are you there? Yep, thank you. Sarah, yeah,
Yes,
unmute. Yeah, great. Can you be Hongshen? And Tamana Hashimi, can you be Wenmei?
Okay, teacher.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So Tamana and Sarah,
Yeah,
go.
I'm ready.
Yeah, too lucky. He will pick up the wallet on the way to the station after his rehearsals.
Okay, I am picking up new shoes from David Jones and the one downtown. I can walk to the station from there.
I am still on campus. I can walk there as well after Barbara's lecture. I might pick up some snacks for the trip on the way.
Great. This is going to be awesome trip.
Thank you. Thank you. So rehearsal. That's
What's
rehearsal.
the rehearsal?
Yeah, rehearsal. Good. And the other thing is, I've noticed actually in other lessons that a lot of students, not a lot, sorry, some students are not
L.
heal. Yeah, instead of he will, the apostrophe gets rid of the WI. So it's he'll pick up and I'm still on campus. So the A goes from I am. It's a hard one to get used to. Do they do that in Dari? Do you have anything like that happen in Dari where you get rid of some letters with an apostrophe?
Not in my language. I don't know in Dari if they have.
Yeah.
Very
Okay.
interesting question you ask. I never thought about this before. Yeah.
I only just thought of it then. I just thought of it because it's a weird thing to do, isn't it? It is. Yeah.
I
Anyway.
don't think in Hindi they have it. They don't.
Yeah. Okay.
Dari is very similar. I don't know. Maybe.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, similar in Delhi. We don't have anything like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Thanks, Mastura.
That's interesting. All right. So some more places around town. We did some places last time. I'll come back to this one, but we talked about a shopping center or a mall. Sometimes they even say shopping plaza. So David Jones is a department store in the Canberra Centre, which is a shopping centre. So this is a shopping centre here. And then there's a shopping mall over here, the Sydney Building Shopping Mall. There's a Bailey's Corner Shopping Mall. So these are words these are places around town that get used in Australia. I'm not sure whether other English-speaking countries use the same terms. Department store. So that's David Jones is a department store. I think that's the only one that's on this map. And then I talked to you about bus stop and bus terminal. So in this case, they're going to the Murray's coaches. So this is an actual Google, I should have said that. This is an actual Google map of downtown Canberra. So we're actually using real maps to talk about it. So the Murray's coaches, this is at the terminal for Murray's coaches, and they're catching a bus all the way to Sydney, which is like a 3-hour drive. So they'll catch it here, and we'll see later they get off further down. But bus stops, all these little ones here are places where buses stop. So these are the buses that just take people around town. So there's bus stops there. And then some of the names for roads and streets. We've done street before. So we have Bunda Street as an example. We have a lane, which is usually very narrow. You can see that here for Verity Lane. It's quite a narrow roadway. We have an avenue. Now, I'll have to explain this one because so an avenue is often big and grand. And this one here has the northbound traffic goes on this side of Northbourne Avenue and the southbound traffic goes on this side. So that whole thing there is an avenue. Then other ones that we have in Australia that you might not have there are circuit. So this is London Circuit because it goes around and on the map it will come back again. So it does a whole circuit. And then we also have crescents. I don't think there's a crescent on there, but there's one later on with when we do Ricardo's map. All right. So, okay. So we're going to practice describing how you move around town. And let's start off with when May. So when May, excuse me, exits the southwest side of the shopping centre and then she turns right. She follows City Walk across Mort Street. Here's Mort Street. So she's going to go across. So that's a preposition of place. Across Mort Street and then along Alinga Street. So this is Alinga Street. She passes the T intersection with Verity Lane. Do you remember from last time? This is a T intersection. Verity Lane comes in and makes a T intersection with Alinga Street and crosses both sides of Northbourne Avenue. So she goes right across here. Then she turns right. And the bus terminal is halfway up that block on the left. So we haven't introduced the term block, but that's used a lot. So in fact, this bit here is really the block, is the whole block. But we also say just one side of it. We'll often say, we'll just refer to that as a block. So if you're walking up from here, you say halfway up the block. So it's halfway up until here, and it will be on her left. So you're going to have to be good at remembering your rights and lefts and good at that. And some people are just not very good at it. Like I make fun of Nikki because she's got to think about it, the rights and lefts. Actually, I shouldn't make fun of her because I make mistakes doing that as well. So don't worry about it if you make a mistake. So let's have, who are we up to? I'm completely losing track. So
I'm sorry. I should be
no.
helping you.
Oh, no, not at all. Elaha Ashrafi. We haven't had you. Elaha
Yes,
Ashrafi. Yeah. Can you just read this out? And
yeah.
I'll practice going this way.
When
Yeah.
May exits the southwest side of the shopping center and turns right, she follows City Walk across Morse Street and along
Alinga Street.
Alinga Street. She passes the T intersection with Verity. What is the meaning of LN, miss?
Verity Lane. Verity Lane.
Verity
Lane, Lane. It's a lane. Wait a minute. I'll go back to lane. LN is short for lane, and a lane is just a very narrow street. Are you okay?
Land
Keep going.
on the left and crosses both sides of Northbourne Avenue. Then she
Yep.
turns right, and the bus terminal is halfway up that block
Good.
on the left.
Yep. Thank you. Good work. Oh, okay. So now this one's a hard one. So so this was one direction, right? And Google Maps, and this is the walking. So all of this along here, this city walk has no traffic on it. It's just for pedestrians. And then when you get to Linga Street, then cars are allowed onto there. So that's the most pleasant way to get from here to there. But Google Maps also points out that you can do this way to get there. So what I want the next person to do is to read this out and say what, so this is a hard one. And so put in the correct one, whether it's northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. Put in after or before, put in left or right, etc., etc. So, Lena, is that too hard for you to do, or is that a good one for you to do? Lena Soltani?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Lena. Is
Hi,
that
ma'am.
too hard for you? Would you like to do another one later on, or would you want to try this one?
Okay, I will try.
Good. Okay, so she's going to start here. So start reading from here.
Okay. We may exist under southeast
So
side turns.
this is where she starts, and we're going up. So that's north. Oh, wait a minute. Oh no, you're so right. No. I made a mistake. Sorry.
That's interesting.
This is this is the whole shopping center. So it is the what we use the southeast. Did you say southeast side? Yep.
Yes. Yes.
Good on you.
And
You're better than me.
They love it when
turns
teachers
right.
make a mistake.
No, left.
Turns left. Yep, that's good.
Yes. After Vodafone store.
The Vodafone store. Yep.
She passes Anita's ice cream shop on the right. She follows
On the right.
Monda's
Yep.
street. She follows Monda's street.
Yep.
Across
Yes.
across the intersections with Mort Street. Then she turns left on the other side, Northward Avenue.
You are so good at this. That's pretty
So
good.
clever, huh?
Yes. Were you going to be able to do that, Paramita? Are you like Nikki? Do you hate doing these sorts of things?
No, I love it.
Oh,
I'm
good.
not as poetic as Nikki is. I
Oh,
prefer this sort of
no.
easy with
Yes.
driving around, doing math.
Thank you. Okay, so let's do this one. So we'll have we had Tahira Hussain? Tahira?
Tahira, unmute.
Hussainizada.
Yeah,
Tahira,
Tahira
could you
has to unmute first. Tahira?
Yeah. Tahira, unmute.
Just a quick question, Jade. Do you want me to keep a record of all the attendees today? Would you like me to write it down?
Yeah, if especially if you need it, because I'm not going to be able to. I
No,
started
of
off,
course
I thought I was
not.
going to be
No,
able
of
to,
course
but
not.
yeah,
No, I'm going to
Yeah.
do it. Don't worry.
okay. Okay, so we have Tahir is not there. Shukriya Amira. Can you read this one? Shukriya?
Shukriya, Miri.
How about okay, Maboba Mahareen has raised her hand. So normally we
Hi
don't.
guys,
Normally
sorry.
we don't. Do you want to do? Do you want to? Yeah.
Thank you. I think this your profile. I cannot read the corner. It's in the slide I see here.
Paramita, can you hear what she's saying? Because I can't.
No,
I
the
can't.
sound is a bit.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. Thank you. It's okay.
It's.
Should I read
I
it
can
now?
hear the thank you. I can hear you say thank you, but I can't hear the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think
Should
your
I read-
connection. Sorry.
when May returns a book to the library before leaving for the bus station, retract retraces her steps, goes back the same way.
Oh,
More
good on
places
you.
around town.
Yep.
Sorry,
Yeah, keep going.
more places around town. Library, Square, Plaza, museum.
Okay. And I should have read them out first. I realized that afterwards. So more places around town are the library where you borrow books. So here is where's the library? Here's the library in Civic is just here. That's where she's returning the book for. And then square or plaza are sort of large areas where where pedestrians can congregate, and sometimes they might have demonstrations or protests, or maybe they just celebrate, they have celebrate different holidays and things like that. So we have there is, it said Petrie Plaza, for example, here. No cars are in here, and people can gather here, and they sometimes have festivals and things like that at the plaza. And then square, where's the square? I know there's a square here somewhere. Oh, and I forgot to I forgot to tell you about branch. I meant to talk about branch. So a branch is kind of like you think about a tree. So it's a little offshoot from a main company. So in Australia, one of the biggest banks is Westpac Bank, and its main office, the biggest office, is probably in Sydney, maybe in Melbourne. And then it has branches, hundreds of branches across Australia. So this one here is the Westpac branch for the Canberra Centre. And then we can see down here that IMB Bank also has a branch here in Canberra. So I just wanted to tell you about branch, and I forgot to do that before. Okay, so we do refer to people retracing their steps. So when May comes out of here, then she walks to the library, returns the book, and then she goes back the same way, and then she goes to the bus terminal. So that's just a possibility. All right, now we're going to do Ricardo's route. So more places around town that we did was the police station. So do you remember the cafe was called the Cupping Room? So that photo was actually of the Cupping Room, which is here. And then across the road, or not directly across, but we still say across the road, there's the police station. And then there's other different buildings here and different restaurants, etc. Now, he's coming from the theatre. He's been rehearsing that word, rehearsing. So that's for his play. They had a rehearsal at the Rep Theatre. So I'm going to ask somebody to describe the path that he takes, because he's going to come this way. He's going to pop into the police station and pick up his wallet. And then he's going to go along here to Northbourne Avenue. And remember, the Murray's bus is just up here. So number one, I'm going to ask somebody to describe the route that Ricardo takes using what we were doing for When May, the same sort of things. And then I'll get somebody to answer these questions. So let's see. Samaya Mohammadi? Samaya? Are you there? Yep. Hi, Samaya. Can't hear you, Samaya, and you've unmuted, so I don't know why I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you. Yeah. So can you describe
Okay.
this route? It's that's Ellery Crescent. You don't need to, you can start from here. He turns
Okay.
which direction on which street? Yeah. Go ahead.
The cupping room cafe is opposite the police station. Am I right?
Okay. Yep. No, that's good. I wasn't going to do that, but this is fine. We'll do that. The cupping room. Yep. Good on you. Okay.
The building behind the police station is behind. 1 minute, I can find that
So
building.
we're using behind as a preposition of place, but he's coming in this direction. So behind it is sort of here. So I'm thinking
Okay.
it's not directly behind. Yeah.
Super Court of the Australia and
So it's
the
Supreme Court of the Australian, it's actually the Australian Capital Territory. So that word is supreme, which is
Supreme
like,
Court of the Australia
yeah. Yep.
and
Uh,
the
yep, go ahead.
restaurant on the left after the coffee is 1 minute. I'm not good in the direction. I try.
You and Nikki can be friends. So
Yes.
so he's walking along the cupping room. So the restaurant, is that the his
Is
left-hand side or right-hand side?
the city Malo? Am I
Saint
right?
Malo. Yep. That's good.
Saint
Saint
Malo.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to get somebody to read out the directions that he went, but I'm a little bit worried that I'm not having enough time to get through everything. So I'm going to go on to the next one. In fact, I might just, yeah, I might put this as a practice thing for you to do on the next one as well. I'll include this for practice for next week. So using maps to show Hongshen's route. So he's coming from here, and the new places around town terms walkway. We say walkway where cars can't go. So he goes up a walkway here and then comes to the street. And then the pharmacy or the chemist. So in Australia and Britain, we often say pharmacy. In America, they will always say chemist. We say chemist as well, but they won't say pharmacy much in America. So there's one pharmacy there. Then there's the General Post Office, which is here. So GPOs for General Post Office. And even though it says general, it's actually the biggest post office in Canberra. So it's a little bit like, and then there's branches of all the other post offices in the different suburbs around Canberra. So it's like the main post office. General doesn't seem like a word that would say main, but that's how they say it for post offices. And then campus is the name for the land and all the buildings that make up the university. Oh, sometimes we use it also for school campuses, but in Australia, mostly it's for universities. Okay, so if we've got time, we can go back and do those ones. Otherwise, I'll add it onto practice ones. All right, so we're going to go from timelines to timetables. And I'm kind of making a bit of a point about this because being able to read a table, a lot of you will have no problems reading tables at all, but it's kind of a little bit like a important skill to have for more STEM sort of like more science and maths and technology type of subjects. So it's not really important for your English, but it is important to help you be able to get around a town. So it's good to know how to read timetables. Okay, so events occur over time. They can be organized by when they occur over time. So a simple one-dimensional, so it only has one dimension, it's only going in one direction. To organize them is to use a timeline. So this is a timeline. A more complex two-dimensional way that holds more information is a timetable. So in this one, there's information that goes in that direction and information that goes in this direction. All right, this is, we're using the stuff from the dialogues from last lesson. So when Fatima and Muhammad were traveled out of town. And so this is a simple timeline. So we're working, increasing time going down here. So do you remember they caught a taxi at 10:15 a.m., train departs at 11, 3 p.m. the train arrives, they check into the hotel, 7 a.m. the next day, they have a hotel breakfast, and then they check out of the hotel. So we can draw that. This is a common way to draw a timeline. You might see this in some of your textbooks, etc. So here, they're spaced out roughly, for me anyway, roughly what the time was. So we're moving from catching the taxi first, moving through to the last thing that they did was check out of the hotel. So that's this one here repeated. And then this one here is drawing the timeline going in the other direction. So the first thing they do is catch the taxi here, and that's on the right. And then you move through to the last thing that happens, which is checking out of the hotel on the left. Now, in Australia, we only ever do this direction. So can somebody answer the question, which direction of the arrow is used in your culture? So I'll take hands for this one. You can put your hands up. Or does nobody want to answer this?
You mean from which direction in their culture they go, like when they're writing? Do you mean that?
So when yeah, well, that's kind of what it, yeah. Nargis, do you want to answer?
Hello, madam. How are you?
Good.
First, I take a taxi and go to taxi and train departs. Take a ticket and go check to hotel and go to train arrive. Then check to the hotel, check the hotel, and then the hotel give a breakfast and then check out. The hotel is moving, check out.
Great, very good. So Nargis, is this how you
We use the first
draw it?
direction in Farsi.
Yes, madam.
So which direction, and it doesn't have to be Nargis, somebody else can answer it if necessary. So is this how you would write your timeline, or would you write it like this, like I do it? Would you do it this way, Nargis?
Yes, the first one.
Yeah. I found this really interesting, and I think that's because you write from this direction, don't you?
Yes.
Whereas we write in this direction.
Okay. This direction is take a taxi and drop.
No. Oh, sorry, Nargis. Sorry. What I'm talking about now is the actual timeline, how we use a timeline. So the line, worry about what's inside the line. Just think about the bit with the camera.
Teacher, can I see it?
So
Can I see, teacher?
Yes. Who's that?
Yes, teacher. We use the first direction when we use Dari language, and in the first direction we use, and when we use the English language, we use the two direction, the
Good. Yes.
second direction.
Yeah. And so because you do two languages, you can actually recognize this. Whereas me, because I'm very monolingual, like I only have one language, I didn't really even know about this, that you could draw a timeline in that direction, because I don't ever use a language that's written from right to left. Yeah. Anyway, thank you. So the other thing is the same thing can happen going down. So here the timelines are one-dimensional, so they're only going in one direction. They were going left to right in the first picture, and now they're going down or up. So I think in your culture that you would use down like we do in English. Because when you write, you go right to left, but you go down the page. Is that correct? I'm probably speaking too fast.
No,
Yes, miss, that's correct.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. But in some Asian countries, for example, China, they write going up. So they start on this part of the page and they go up, then they go back to the bottom and go up, back to the bottom, go up, up. So in fact, this would be the normal way for them to do it. I say that, but like you with Dari, going between Dari and English, a lot of Asian languages also do the English way. English is just taking over the world. Like it's just, maybe soon Chinese will take over the world and I'll have to get used to doing that instead.
That would be good.
Okay, so from timelines to timetables. So this is a way to get more information. And so here we've got two timelines acting together. So we're going time, we start here and we go down here. So we start early in the morning at 9 o'clock and we finish at the end of the school day at 3:15. So that's one timeline. And then across here, we have a different timeline. We're going from the first work day of the week or school day of the week, which is Monday, and we're going across here to Friday. So this is a way to fit a lot of information into a table. So all tables do this. In this particular one, we're doing timetables. And so both the information in both directions is about time. All right. So you're probably familiar with this sort of a timetable for your schools. So this is just examples of, oh yeah, that's right, because that was a school timetable. And I just wanted to point out that in travel, there are so many timetables. You've got timetables for buses, for ships, for planes, for maybe not so much for planes, but yeah, trains, etc. So here is a timetable for the Murray's coach that Wenmei, Hongshen, and Ricardo are catching. And so you can recognize that it's a table. So when they're going between Canberra to Sydney, when they go from Canberra to Sydney, this is the timetable. So these are the different times of the day. So it's increasing from 1 a.m. through to 6 p.m. down this way. And then this way, it doesn't actually look like it's saying time, but it is a time because you're starting off here. The next place you go to is the Sydney International Airport, and the next place you go to after that is the Sydney Central Station. So it is still about time, the places that you go at different times. All right, so have a look at that and we'll do the questions. I might need to give you a little bit of time to look at it. Hongshen, Wenmei and Ricardo catch the noon bus. They arrive at Central Station in Sydney at... So who would like to do this one? Preferably somebody that hasn't already had a go. Rehana, would you like to have a go? Rehana?
Raihana, could you unmute yourself? Raihana.
Might be too hard. Mina Majidi, would you like to unmute? Mina?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Would you like to have a go? Yep.
Okay, I will try my best.
Yes, I'll help you.
Okay, thank you. Hongshen, Winmai, and Ricardo catch the noon bus. They arrive at Central Station in Sydney at
So which one of these is noon? First of all, you have to know what noon is. We did that in something, yeah. So which one's noon?
noon. 12.
Yep, and
Yes,
it's actually
12
12 p.m. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So
Central
this is the
Station in
bus that
Sydney
they
at
catch.
12
So
p.m.
they arrive. So they catch the noon bus at 12 p.m. And then
Okay.
got to get to Central Station in Sydney, and this is Central Station in Sydney.
Okay. In 3:30?
Yes, good. Yes.
Yes,
So they
in
get there at
3:30.
3:30. Yeah. Good on
Okay.
you. Okay. No, I'll get
Continue
somebody else.
or no?
I'll get someone else to do the other one because there's lots of people.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
okay. Najiba Poya, would you like to have a go? Najiba, would you like to unmute? Thank you.
Yes, teacher.
Would you like to do number 2? I
Yes.
can help you, but yeah. So you read it out and then we'll figure out how to do it.
The latest bus they can take for their return trip on the next day leaves Sydney at
So first of all, is this the return trip timetable or is this the return trip timetable?
the second one.
Yep. The Sydney to Canberra is their return trip. So what is the latest?
At 7 p.m.
Great. Good. You can read your tables. That's good. Okay.
Because
Let's
they say they leaves Sydney at leaves
leaves.
at
The latest
7
bus.
p.m.
Yeah. So we're talking about the bus. So the bus leaves Sydney at 7 p.m. So the latest bus they can take for their return trip on the next day leaves. Is that okay, or is that a very complicated sentence to understand? I might be making the sentences a bit more complicated.
May I continue, sir?
That's okay. Don't worry about it. I'm kind of babbling, so sorry about that. This lesson is harder than the usual lessons. So sometimes we will give an easy lesson at the beginning of a new topic and then give a harder lesson on the next lesson. So this one's a bit harder than what we were doing last week. Okay, let's get somebody else to do the last one who has not had a go. Does anyone want to put up their hand who has not had a go to try to do this one? The questions are getting harder, so this is the hardest question. Okay, Samaya, thank you. Do you want to read it out first?
Yes, I tried to do it correct.
Good.
Do you have my notes?
So can you read the question first, Samaya?
Yeah, okay. The last time they can leave Sydney to back to be back by 6 o'clock in the evening is 1 minute. I tried the last leave
This is a
Sydney.
hard question. This is a hard question. So they want to be back by 6 o'clock. So that being back means they want to be in Canberra by 6 o'clock. So that means before or at 6 o'clock. So if we go back, this is a trip here, and this is
The evening is 6 a.m. They come 6 a.m.
6 a.m. would definitely get them back in time, but that's not the latest time. So if they went at 7 a.m., they'd be back at 10:30. If they went at 11 a.m., they'd be back at 2:30. They have to be back
I
at
think 7 p.m. Evening 7 p.m.
7 p.m., then they get here at 10:30. That's too late. They need to be back by 6 o'clock. This is a hard question. I'm really pleased that you took
Okay,
this
I
question.
can't.
So I'll help you. So what we're doing is they need to be back by 6 o'clock in Canberra. So if we have a look at Canberra, this
It's
bus,
6.
the one that leaves at 3 p.m., gets back at 6:30. So that's too late, isn't it? Because they need to be
Yeah,
back by 6. So they need the
they
bus.
come 5:30 p.m.
Yep. And so that, what time does that leave? Sydney?
Leave Sydney. It's they be back. 1 minute teacher.
So
2
this
p.
one,
2 p.m.
2 p.m. Good. Yeah, that's really
Yeah,
good. You worked through it. You figured it out. That's good. So the latest
thank you.
time they can leave Sydney to be back by 6 o'clock in the evening is 2 p.m. So this is a complicated sentence. It's a complicated sentence with lots of different information in it. So it does take a while to figure it out. So good work. All right.
Thanks.
Okay, so let's move on to transport maps, because usually when you get a timetable, it's got to do with the maps. So most major cities of the world have got public transport, and often there is a stylized, that means like a formal, sort of a geometric look to the a map of the available routes with different colors for different routes. So you see this across the world. And then there are interchanges for where to change from one route to another. So in Islamabad, here there's a interchange here where you can change between the reddy brown one and the orange one. This one here's got, there's 3 interchanges for the blue line, here, here, and here. So they're the interchanges. And then all the stops are the little circles along the way. All right, so now we're going to go to something that's really, really complicated. This one, yeah, blew Nikki's mind. Actually, Paramita might use this. Paramita visits Melbourne from time to time. I don't know, do you use the trams, Paramita?
In Melbourne, yes, sometimes I do.
Yep.
Tell me, what do I do?
Oh
I
no,
was
you don't
doing
need
the
to do
role.
anything. No, I was just pointing out. Do you use complicated timetables to figure out when the trams are there, or do you just wait for them to turn up?
Well, when you go to the tram stop, you will see the timetable is up there. So you can
Yep,
just quickly look at it and know that how, when will be the
yep,
next
yep. That's
one.
like this one.
Yeah,
So we're going to, yeah. All right. So Melbourne's got many routes. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, etc., etc. So there's lots of routes. So the different colors are the different routes. Routes are named by number and by their terminals. So the network shows which routes and where to change routes. So like the interchanges. See how it's got the interchanges like there was on the Islamabad one. So to get from East Coburg to Port Melbourne, East Coburg to Port Melbourne, I wasn't supposed to do that. Okay. What I wanted to do was just, first of all, to point out just one route. So from Route 1 goes from East Coburg and it goes all the way through to the South Melbourne beach. I think I've got a question on that somewhere. Anyway, okay. But if you were going to go from East Coburg to Port Melbourne, you have to switch over from the green route to the orange route. So you would come down all the way down to this street here, and this street is Collins Street. So you would go to the Collins Street interchange, the Collins Street interchange, and you'd switch on to Route 109, which takes you to Port Melbourne. So, yeah. So I hope that helps. I don't know how often you're going to have to figure out how to get yourself around with a map like this.
The names are all familiar, all the Collins Street and all
Yeah,
the streets,
yeah.
and so they're very familiar. Coburg, East Coburg.
Yep.
I miss
I don't
Melbourne
go
now.
Yeah. I don't get to Melbourne very often. I did a little bit as a kid. I went down there, but not like. So I just wanted to point out this is a tram timetable, but you can see how by using a table, you can fit in a lot of information. So here the different routes are going from in this direction from 8:31 in the morning. So the first tram leaves then. Later in the morning on this map, so this one obviously goes a lot further. All of these are different trams, and this is the times that they leave. That's increasing time across there. Coming down here is all the stops, but in a way that is also a timeline because you have to go from one stop to the next stop to the next stop. So you're following it along in a line. So it's very complicated, and but if you're prepared to sit in front of it, you can figure out where you need to go. And we're going to do that on the next slide. This one I'm using a more simple route. So if we go back to here, there's a tourist route, the black one, and it just goes around and around and around clockwise around Sydney. And around Melbourne. And it uses one of the old, sort of more antique trams to go around. So it's for tourists to get around. All right. So we are going to leave from the waterfronts or the Docklands tram stop at 10:02. So the 10:02 tram departs from stop D11 at the Docklands. It heads, and I want you to tell me whether it's northeast or southeast, and I'll go back to the map for that one. It reaches the corner of Russell and Flinders Street. Here's Russell's and Flinders Street, so that's top 6. So you have to be able to figure out what time it is. And then to get to the Central Pier by 11 a.m., you would leave the aquarium, stop 2, before what time? So this is another one of those hard ones that we did before. So it's just
That's okay, they'll learn. I mean, first
yeah,
time when you look at this, it looks like very difficult. But when
yeah.
you think about it a bit more, then it becomes, oh my goodness, it's so easy.
That's what I'm hoping, that you will get it.
First time it's always complicated.
Yeah, but then some types of brains just can't be bothered doing it. Like it's too much information, it's too confusing. So
They
but
don't,
hopefully,
that's lazy brain, like mine.
well, actually, no. So Nikki doesn't like doing it, but if she has to, if she's by herself in Melbourne and she has to
Everyone has
figure it out, then she will do it. Yeah. So Docklands, this is the Docklands 1. So it's going in this direction when it departs. So you have to figure out whether that's northeast or northwest, I think. All right. So who would like to try to do this one? Can you put your hand up if you would like to have a go? Any volunteers?
We need some risk takers here.
Yep.
Even if you
And I
make
will.
mistake, come on, give it a try, girls. Don't worry about making mistake. We all make mistakes. No hands. Oh, there is Nahid. Well
Thank you,
done.
Nahid.
So proud of you, Nahid. Oh, Rana. Now all the hands are going
Oh,
up.
Rana. Hey, Rana, I think you did this one last year.
Oh, Ilaha.
But no, she can have a go. She can have a go as well. But let's start off with
Nahid first started, raised
Nahid,
her
yeah.
hand, the brave one.
Yeah. Nahid, can you read this out and do the questions?
The first one,
Yep.
it hits.
Oh, so
It hurt.
read this bit out and then do that bit.
The 10 and 2 tram departs from the stop D11 at the Docklands. It hits northeast.
Yep, good on you. Northeast. Yeah. So will we go to Rana? Do you want to do this one?
Yes, ma'am.
Well done,
So
Nahid.
it's left here. So Rana, yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
Yep.
It reached the corner of Russell and Flinders Street at Melbourne City at 10:38.
Good, excellent. So she started off here and she came down until she met the this one here.
Roya?
So it's 38. Good on you.
Thank you.
Nagar, yeah, good clap.
I'm so excited. They can do it, you see.
Nagarin, this one is
Yes,
really
ma'am, I'm
hard.
here.
Yeah,
It is hard. I'll give
it is very hard.
Let's
Yeah.
see. To get to the Central Pier by 11 a.m., you should leave the Aquarium stop 2 before. Okay, Central Pier is here.
Guys, someone
You
please
should
turn off the
leave the Aquarium
microphone.
stop.
We're trying to concentrate. Someone's microphone is on.
So if you want to get
it's,
there,
Yeah, by
so
11, you should leave
so
the
you need to
Aquarium
get
stop.
there. You don't want to take
11,
this.
11,
So you want
0.
to get to this. You want to get to Central Pier by 11. So this one's too late, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right,
So
because it's after 11. So this is the latest one that you can take.
10:55.
Yep. And what time does it
Uh,
leave the aquarium?
Wait a minute.
Stop 2. There's the aquarium. Stop 2.
Stop to Aquarium. It's 10:44.
Yes.
Then this.
Good on you. Yep.
Okay, ma'am.
It's
Thank
10:44.
you.
Another clap.
You've
I
done
didn't know I
it.
was right.
Yeah. Good work. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
fantastic.
All right.
Yeah, it's 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Do you want me to finish or will we quickly go through this one?
Okay, just one more, probably.
All right. So the other thing, so in airports, we don't tend to use timetables. Instead, we use a schedule. And actually in America, they tend to call timetables schedules as well, like a school schedule. But anyway, so this is an example of a Sydney airport departure schedule. So we have one timeline going down here, so increasing time. But in the table across here, or the schedule, instead of increasing time, you've just got lots of different information. So as you can see, a table gives you a way to organize information. So a timetable that is not repeated is sometimes called a schedule. So we won't answer the questions today, but these are the questions that you should practice. Which flights are used by 2 airlines? So these are the flights here. All right. So going across, we have the time, the destination that it's going to arrive. So it's leaving from Sydney, and the airline, the flight number is this one, the gate it's going to leave is this one, and then the information for that particular flight, it's telling you that the gate is already open. So this flight here has a final call. You better get there quick or you're going to get locked out, because if the gate is closed, you cannot get on that flight. It's too late for you. So they let you know when it's boarding, they let you know that the gate is open, they have final calls, but then they close the gate as well. So this one here, I'll read the so sometimes airlines share numbers. So here's a Qantas airline and an American Airlines using the same. This is obviously the same flight. So that just means that Qantas books people on this plane and American Airlines books people on this plane, but it's just one plane. So the question will be, which two airlines share a plane leaving at 12:15? That's one question. And then we were going to have a fun question of Nikki and Jade are both flying to Bali. They are running late for their flights. Nikki is flying with Virgin Australia and Jade is flying with Garuda Indonesia. Who missed their flight? So this is just, see, the problem for Nikki is that when I'm making up the lesson, I can make fun of her. So, because she loves Virgin Australia. She goes to Bali a lot and she loves the airline Virgin Australia much more than she likes Garuda Indonesia. So she will usually take Virgin Australia. All right. So again, practice these things in your own time. There's some questions related to the school timetable and one related to a work schedule. So there's lots of questions here. I might make up a separate PDF with the extra ones that we didn't get to. The questions that we didn't do, I'll add them onto a PDF and we'll see if we can answer them at the beginning of, before class starts for next week. How does that sound, Paramita?
Yeah, I think that's really a good idea. I'll stop recording here.
Yeah.
Okay.